Hello fellow haunters, this is Jared the Lantern, and I'm here with a video to show you, I don't know if you have remembered this from one of my Halloween hauls from, it's been a while, I think it was sometime last year, and I picked this up at a thrift store, and this is the original Miracle Melting Witch. And it says it melts again and again. Kind of had it sitting around, never really did anything with it. I actually just kind of recently came across it again. I paid $4 for it, the Goodwill. It said it's made by some company called Estelle Gifts. Never heard of that company. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but let's go ahead and open it up and see the contents here. And everything does look to be new. And so there it is, the instructions, tiny little instruction book. And it looks like all the witch pieces. We have the witch face, witch hat, witch's broom, witch's hands. And this looks to be some sort of black mask of some sort. Let's go ahead and look at the directions here. Hopefully they're not too complicated. So, it's a large instruction sheet. It says, number 1, take the putty from the pot. And mold into, well, what's the pot anyway? Take the putty from the pot and mold into the shape you want. You may need warming up in your hands to become more easily workable. Shape the witch's body using the putty, and then using the supplied witch pieces, create your own witch. Believe your newly created witch, and within a few hours she will slowly melt. So, not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but let's go ahead and open up the putty and see if I could shape it into the form of a witch. So here is the putty that they give you. I put some brown craft paper down on my table here. I don't know if it's going to stain or whatnot. So it does help to kind of warm it up in your hands a little bit. And it's not as pliable as, like, say, Play-Doh. And it kind of snaps, kind of like the way that Silly Putty does. If you ever got those Silly Putties that come like in the little plastic eggs. So I would say like the texture is a lot firmer and it's more Silly Putty than Play-Doh. But I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down so I can kind of mold it with both hands. So hold on a second. Alright, so I know this looks awful. It just kind of looks like just a big pile of sludge here, but they really don't give you a whole lot of putty to work with. And so to make something that looks like it might be a body, I really had to planter the bottom portion down, almost like a tree trunk, to make sure that the figure would stand up. So we're working with really almost like, I don't know, maybe like 3 inches tall, so it's not very big. It actually was kind of fun to kind of like mold it into some sort of shape. But so that is what I came up with. I know it looks horrible. It is kind of like falling over a little bit. So I don't know if that's already the melting process at work. But let's go ahead and dress her up. I think I can do this with one hand. And here's the face. And the pieces are just kind of like hard plastic. And as you can see, she's kind of already slipping a little bit. There is the face. Let me just stand her up a little bit more. And before I make her too top heavy, I'll save the hat for last. So here's her her right hand, or her left hand I should say, going in. She's already kind of shrinking a little bit. Let me do the hands and the hat, and then I'll come back because it's really hard to do this with one hand. Hold on a second. So as you can see, I kind of just put the hands on either side, and I stuck the broom just like at her feet to kind of give the illusion that she's holding it. Didn't work out too well. But let me go ahead and just pop on this hat before she's already starting to fall over. I don't know if that's part of the melting process. As you can see, let me just turn this around. She's kind of leaning back. About to do the limbo here, but let me go ahead and push her a little bit forward. And See, there's not a whole lot of room for the hat, so it's almost kind of just gonna rest on top of her head here. And so let me just press that down. So there is my horrific looking witch there. It actually was kind of fun putting it together, and just want to make sure that I'm not missing any pieces here. Here is everything that comes with it. Yeah, I think I have everything. And oh, I'm missing her. It's almost like she's already melting. So I don't know if that's just because it was poor craftsmanship of putting her together, or if that's how she melts. But you can see the picture that I showed you right now. It kind of shows that, you know, it melts fully all the way down. I can get to focus. Anyway, so they said it takes over the period of a few hours for it to melt, but it kind of already looks like she's melting. And it's not hot in this room at all, so, but there it is. The original melting witch. And, you know, I'll come back, I'll let this sit on my table for a few hours. I'm not going to bore you guys to death by just, you know, showing you this for over the course of a few hours. But I'll just leave this here, and then I will kind of do an update of what the witch looks like in a couple hours, and we'll go from there. So here I'm back a little while later. Now I am now only seeing the warnings on the side here. It says putty may stain, protect clothing and furnishings, which I did before I even read that, so that was good. Do not put in oven or microwave, which I don't know why you would. Do not model food imitation items, as it will pose a risk to younger children, confusing it with real food. Interesting. I don't know what you would be fashioning food that is colored black. I guess maybe an olive. In case of contact with eyes, rinse with water. Keep away from hair and pets. Adult supervision recommended. So this is on the back. It shows right there. Theirs is pretty much completely flattened out and melted. Mine doesn't look too different. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. So, as you can see, it was originally $14, and like I said, I got this at a thrift store for $4, and it was a fun little activity. The actual active part itself probably took a total of about 5 minutes, and then it was just the waiting part to see her melt. So, I don't think it's going to melt any further than that. I think maybe if I store the putty back in the container and then maybe warm it up in my hands a little while longer next time, if there is a next time, I'm not sure. It might flatten out a little bit smoother, a little bit wider like their picture. But either way, there it is. Like I said, I've had this for about a year. I'm not exactly sure how long, but that's what was waiting for me in my drawer this whole time. But so there it is, the original melting witch. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this before. I just thought it was interesting. But there it is. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep it melty.